A dangerously competent man can be dropped into almost any environment and find a way to win. He adapts, learns quickly, handles pressure, solves problems, and competes. And because of that, he becomes difficult to control. That's why competence is dangerous. Competence is dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to weakness, dangerous to chaos, dangerous to dependence, and dangerous to a system that benefits from weak men. Because competent men are difficult to manipulate. A competent man doesn't panic easily. He doesn't collapse under pressure. He doesn't need constant validation. He doesn't need permission to act. He can think for himself, move for himself, build for himself, and lead himself. Modern culture doesn't really encourage that anymore. Our modern culture encourages comfort, convenience, dependency, passivity, and constant distraction. Because weak, dependent people are easier to influence. But competence creates agency, and agency creates freedom. A dangerously competent man is someone who can compete, adapt, and perform across multiple domains of life, whether it be physical, emotional, social, intellectual, or material, financial. He's not perfect, but he's capable, and capability compounds. The more domains you become competent in, the more confident you become overall. Because real confidence comes from evidence of your competence. Evidence that you can learn, you can adapt, you can survive pressure, you can solve difficult problems. Confidence without competence is delusion. That's why competent men move differently. They don't need to pretend. Their confidence is grounded in reality. Confidence without competence is delusion. Physical competence is one of the most important forms of competence a man can develop because it's foundational, symbolic, and practical. It's foundational because your body is the vessel that anchors your life to this plane of existence. And it's the primary method through which we navigate physical challenges and overcome resistance. Developing your physical competence can become a catalyst for growth in every other domain of life. It's symbolic because people automatically associate physical strength with competence overall, whether they admit it or not. It's a subconscious judgment that they pass on you. And it's practical because physical strength affects your energy, your confidence, your posture, your resilience, your presence, and how people respond to you. A physically capable man feels different in person. He has calm energy, controlled movements, regulated nervous system, strong posture, clear communication. You can feel competence before someone even speaks. One of the biggest lies modern culture teaches men today is that competence can be outsourced, that you don't really need to become capable yourself. You can just use tools, apps, systems, AI, machines, and other people. And sure, those things can help, but at the end of the day, you still know whether you are competent or not. And deep down, most men know they're underdeveloped. That's why so many men feel insecure, not because they lack confidence, but because they lack evidence to support their confidence. They have no physical discipline, no emotional control, no standards, no mission, and without competence, men become fragile. You can usually spot an incompetent man quickly. He's emotionally reactive, he has excuses, avoidant, he has poor awareness of himself and his surroundings, and he's always folding under pressure. Incompetent men panic easily. They avoid responsibility, avoid discomfort, and they avoid challenge because incompetence lives in a constant state of fear. Competent men are different. They stay composed, adapt quickly, communicate clearly, and respond instead of react. That level of composure creates authority naturally, not that fake alpha male loud behavior bullshit. Real, grounded competence. So, how do you become dangerously competent? First, develop a growth mindset. You need to believe that you can improve. Then, step number two, you need to choose to do a difficult thing deliberately. You need to train hard, learn a new skill, develop discipline, put yourself in a challenging environment. After that, you need to develop some standards. Standards for your body, your environment, your behavior, your relationships, your work ethic. And then ultimately, you need a mission because men without a mission become distracted by comfort. Most men today are overstimulated and underdeveloped. Dangerously competent men are the opposite. They're focused, capable, disciplined, adaptable, and over time that compounds into real power. Competence also makes men more attractive to women because humans are fundamentally a competence based species. Women evaluate men based on capability. Can he handle pressure? Can he lead? Can he adapt? Can he protect? Can he remain composed during difficult situations? Competence signals survival value to women, but competence also creates freedom for men because the more competent you become, the less dependent you are on other people. You gain options, you start to get influence and agency over your life. And yes, competence does create opportunity to adapt more responsibility also because competent people become valuable to others. So people start to rely on you as a competent man. But honestly, that's part of what makes life meaningful. So don't run from that responsibility. Create the competence and then embrace the responsibility. Most men today chase confidence by manipulating their emotional state. But real confidence is earned. And you earn it through competence, through challenge, through discipline, through pressure, and through growth. So stop trying to feel confident and start becoming competent. Because confidence without competence is delusion. If you want to start building real strength, discipline, and capability, check out the 1% Better Challenge down below. And if you're serious about becoming stronger, sharper, and harder to break, subscribe to the channel. Barbell helping you develop the strength and nutrition habits for a life well lived. I'll see y'all on that next video. Peace.